Hello my lovely friends. Today I'm going to take on a challenge because you all know I like a challenge. This was to use big bold elements. Big bold elements. So I've pulled out a really old sheet of paper. It's from about 2011. It's by Amy Tangerine. It's the very first collection. And I'm going to cut that heart out so that I can slide a very big photo partially behind it, because otherwise I'm going to cover up the heart and I'm going to cover up part of the photo and not the parts I want. So as you can see, the photo, I've got a good chunk of space at the top, which is going to help me when I come to do a title, and I'm going to be able to play around with things around the edges. So although the photo is large, I've got a lot of room to work with. So I'm going to run through papers, pull out some papers that I like, maybe some that I'm not so keen on, we'll see, and have a play around with them. Now, the paper that has the red on it, the red hearts, it's an old crate paper, and I'm going to cut the hearts out. Although I don't have full hearts, I've got the edges of them, and as you can see, I can tuck them behind the photo. So they look like full hearts, but you and I know they're not. And it's just a clever little way of using paper without using up the full, requiring the full element. I've slid a little sheet of the gold foiled, it's Maggie Holmes paper, and I'm using some of that pink feathered paper as well. Now, I found this actually quite tricky because the page looks balanced, but I wasn't happy with it. But I knew I really wanted to use those papers. So I've started to move things around a bit more, pull things out a bit further, tuck things down a bit further, and just move around with it. Then I hit upon, actually, maybe it might be a good idea to start cutting out and doing some die cuts with it so that I've got that flash of paper without using all the paper. And what I noticed from cutting out those hearts was the pink doesn't actually work that well, that pink feathers. It's just the wrong shade. So I took the chance and played around a bit more with it. I removed the pink paper entirely, and I've not used it the way I had before. I've also created a block up the top of this chalky-like paper, and I'm using that around different areas of the photo, but mainly up at the top to create a block where I can work up from without having to work onto the red, because red is very difficult to contrast with, and when you consider the background paper is quite a pale tone, it's even trickier. So that big block up there gives me a bit more space to use without making it difficult. So I am now finally sticking down that gold paper, and I'm also sticking down those hearts at long last. I've popped some pop dots on the back of an embellishment, which is just a circle. I've just punched it out from a cut apart sheet to give me that. I'm trying out an acrylic, what's the word? Acrylic cutout? I can't even remember the word now. But it just wasn't working for me on there. So I'm going to start building in at those two corners. So I've got the two bottom corners and then a line. So I'm almost making a C shape around the sides of the paper. So the right hand side will be quite sparse. The left hand side will have quite a bit on it. I'm having to play around with some rub-ons and just sticking those to the top. It's an old rub-on, it's a bit on the dead side and it's not too hot, so I do wind up covering that up. I just wasn't happy with it, but if you don't... I'm going in with some stickers now. These ones are Prima, Gypsy Rose, I can't remember. Going with some stickers, I've got some of those punched out hearts that I'm layering around, and I'm adding embellishments in sort of, just around those edges really, and that's where I want them to be. It pulls everything in. It's like drawing the eye into the middle, so rather than it flowing through the page, it flows into the middle. Now, again, more stickers, because we all need more stickers. These are labels, adhesive labels, just by Jenny Bolin. I've cut some of them in half just to allow myself a little bit of extra room to play with. And now I'm digging out some buttons. Now I have these little pebbles. These are by Prima and they are forever old, but I think these will work really, really nicely with this page. The tones are just the right one, and being pebbles, what's not to love? I also have these large die cut letters which spell out happy. Now it's one of my wedding photos. It was a happy day. So strangely enough, it's getting called Happy Day. Once I find the why, which took me a little while. So this is the point where I suddenly remember why I don't always split up my die cuts and embellishment packs, because then I can't find everything. However, I'm going to put the happy at the top. Obviously, I've got that lovely chunk of white there, and I really don't want to remove that or cut it back. Although the two P's and the Y at the end there sort of blend back a bit, I'm not too concerned about it because it stands out enough, but not too much. And it leaves me space for day at the other end of the white. So again, I'm sticking things down, and I'm now working up the left hand side, and I'm going to sort of fill that out so that I've got a line of embellishment going up that. Like I said before, creating that C shape around the page. So from the top right hand corner around to the bottom right hand corner, and that just draws the eye round. Initially I thought of it as 4 points going into the middle, but it's not. It's really a C, and it draws the eye round the page, which I really, really like. So I'll get that happy stuck down. We've got a lovely flow of embellishments up the left hand side there. I'm going to add some of these Doodlebug enamel hearts, which I have yet again had since the year dot, and just put them in just floating them around a bit, see how they work out. But I do love them. Oh, and some nice pretty gems, because we all love gems. Now these things have no sticky left whatsoever, so I'm gluing them, because there's nothing worse than chasing dots round or having them all fall to the bottom of your page protector. It's really annoying. So I'm going to get those glued down. Now I need to put the word day in there. So we're off to the alphas. And I've chosen this sort of wood grain glittered alpha. Position that, and job's a good one. So you can see a close-up of some of the embellishment clusters here and the final page. I really hope you enjoyed this. It's a really good, for me, it's a really good example of using big photos, large letters, and that kind of thing. So if you did enjoy the video, please like it. Please subscribe to the page, like my Facebook page, and I will see you soon for another process video. Take care, and thank you for watching. Bye!